Hi ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Miss Raga's Art Room. Alright, so today we're going to be setting up our mandala drawing paper and start the mandala drawing. So you should have received a 18 by 18 or 20 by 20 sheet of mandala watercolor paper, depending on what we're working on this year, okay? And you're also going to need your compass and one of the big long rulers. Now, for our demonstration today, because I'm working on the camera, I'm doing this at a much smaller size, so you can still see the technique on the video recording, but realize yours is going to be on the much bigger paper, but it's all the same principles. Okay, so first thing we need to do is find the center of our paper. And the easiest way to do that is to go from corner to corner with our ruler and draw a line. And that will find our direct center of the paper, even if it wasn't cut to an absolute perfect square, right? Even if it's a little bit off. Boom, there's the center of my paper. Beautiful. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my compass and I'm going to make as large a circle as will possibly fit on my paper. Now, in the case of you guys, you're going to be moving this compass all the way out to the very, very ends. Now I'm going to be doing a little bit smaller so that it'll fit on my paper. But remember, you turn the wheel in order to move the legs in and out. Please, please, please do not squeeze on the legs or try to pull the legs without moving the wheel. All that does is it'll strip this screw in the center and then makes it so that the compass isn't good to use anymore. Okay, so I'm going to make as big a circle as I can. I've put the point in the center of the paper. There we go, nice big circle. Okay, and now I'm just going to gently twist the compass, draw a nice big circle. Now remember, we're working with radial symmetry, right? So what that means is what happens in one quadrant, what I draw here, has to happen in the other ones, all the way around. Now, you can still divide up your paper further from this if you'd like. If you want to, right, you can take your ruler, you can measure, and you can find, let's see, 5, the center of the sides and add additional triangles or wedges to draw in. So instead of having 4 pieces to create that radial symmetry in, you could have 8. Okay, so once again, let me keep measuring here. A little bit over 5. And again on this edge. Once again, folks, you'll be doing this with the big ruler because you've got the much larger paper. Again, just for demonstration purposes, we're using the little paper on mine. All right, so in this case, I've divided up so I've got 8 sections to work in. Okay, but you could also do something even fancier than this. I'm going to flip this paper over, okay, and you can do a circle by section and kind of work off of 6 petals. So once again, I'm going to find the center of my paper, line up edge to edge. Now because we're going to find the petals, you don't have to do the full corner to corner. Just make sure your ruler's nicely lined up for that. Awesome. Okay. Let's get that big circle in. Okay, there it is. And now what you're going to do is take the radius, okay, of this circle, and you're going to start at any point on the outer edge, doesn't matter where. And you're going to start drawing arcs. Now, at either edge, where that arc hits the edge of the circle, rotate your paper, place the point of the compass there without changing any measurements, and draw another arc. And you're going to keep working your way around the whole circle until you see 6 petals form. You just keep working your way around until all the petals are completed. Okay, and to the next point. There it is. Aha. Okay, so right, we've got kind of 3 choices to start. We could do the 4 quadrants, 8, or now we have 6 little petal points. From there, we can start doing our design work, okay? Remember, we are working with radial symmetry. So let's say I'm working with this little petal design. In the case of this petal design, whatever I create on one petal, I have to create on all of them, right? So let's say I'm working with, you know, oh, and
please excuse the interruption. Due to a power outage at the high school, our computers are down. So due to a power outage at the high school, we have no computer access. We do not know how long this will be. Thank you.
Okay then, there we go.
Please send your daily or period attendance to the attendance office using your blue slips. Thank you.
Oh, folks, sorry for that interruption. There we go. So we can see anything that happens has to happen radiating out from the center. Okay, so let's say I want to do, you know, little circles from this point here. And I want to do little arches. So now, from each point around, whoops, I'm going to create the same little arch. Ooh, if I can get my compass to stay. There we go. And I'm going to work my way around adding those arches. You get the idea, right? Whatever happens in one section has to happen in all of them. Okay? All right, terrific. Let's see what this looks like a little bit larger scale. Here's my large sample I'm going to be doing in class. Let me zoom out a bit here. Can I do that? Okay, here's my large sample I'm going to be doing in class, ladies and gents. I'm going to pause the video and let me zoom out a moment. Thanks for your patience. All right, this is as zoomed out as I can get. You can see why I was working small scale on the setup. All right, so you can see I've got loads of complex design. I've got radial symmetry. Whatever is happening in one petal is happening in all the others. I went for the 6-petal design here and started working out from there. Now, this is a pure design project. I know. I always say no outlining, outlines flatten. But we are creating a flat design here. Outlines are perfectly appropriate. We're exploring color theory. We're creating something that's kind of this beautiful geometric explosion, okay? So, of course, now Sharpie outline would actually be appropriate here, okay? Think of it almost like we're creating this gorgeous stained glass window, all right? Now, when you're working with the Sharpie, you have to really take your time and really take great care and attention because we are working with watercolor. So if you make an oops and you think, oh, it'll be fine, Miss Rog will just give me whiteout or something to cover it up. Nope, sorry guys, whiteout isn't gonna work. The whiteout's kind of an acrylic polymer material, and so what happens when it dries, it gets like a shiny plastic coating to it. Watercolor won't stick to it. So all you'll end up with is a big giant white spot in the middle of your beautiful color work. So if you make a mistake while doing your Sharpieing, you just gotta live with it. Here's what you need to do. Take your time, rest your hand on the paper, and do little bits of the line at a time. And do you see how I'm constantly rotating the paper so that my hand is in a comfortable drawing position? I'm doing little bits of the line at a time. That's what you need to do. And it really does take patience and focus. You cannot be chatting with your neighbor as you're doing it, or you are going to have oopses, okay? If you do have an oops, I'm just going to ask you to try to work it into the design. There's nothing we can do to fix it with whiteout, okay? So what you're going to do is do a nice fine Sharpie outline to the whole drawing, okay? And then do a nice eraser of any of your pencil work so we're ready to work with the watercolor. All right, ladies and gents, thanks for watching. I appreciate you catching up here in Miss Raga's Art Room. I'll see you next time.